So I want to talk about my first experience inside a sensory deprivation tank. Now, if you don't know what a sensory deprivation tank is, it's pretty much like a queen size bed area where it's filled with this liquid that's, I think it's like a lot of salt in there and also some sort of gel. Because when I walked out, I felt all this like kind of gel stuff on me. But anyway, what it is you lay in this area, which is like the size of a queen size bed, a little bigger actually, and it's filled with this liquid, and you just lay in it, and it's in a completely dark room. Or in some other cases, I think there's more of a tank kind of thing. But the what I laid in was more of a room kind of area, like a small room. But it was filled with this liquid though, and what you did was lay down. It's completely black, but there's also an option where you can have lights on, and they give you earbuds that fill up your entire ear, like not like deep inside your ear or something, but like the outside of your ear, so you can't really hear anything at all. And what you do is you lay down in the liquid, and what this liquid does, since it's so salty and has this sort of gel stuff in it, it keeps you floating above. So you're just floating in this liquid, and you can choose however long you want, which is like, well, the place that I went to offers 1 hour or 1.5 hours or 2 hours. And this it sounds like a long time if you're kind of new to this idea of floating. It seems like a long time, but when you really do it and you get into it, you find out it's not long at all. So what happened? Well, I'll get into the point of it after I get finished talking about my experience. So I went to this place in Malta, New York. I can't remember what it was called right now, but pretty much like I got there, it was easy. I actually scheduled an appointment for 7 p.m. and I get there, I was like the only one there, and then I just hopped right in. They showed me how to do it and everything. So what you do is first you take a shower, and the thing is that you get like a whole room to yourself. So you have a shower in there, and then behind the shower is like the area in which you float. So first you take a shower, then once you shower, you just go into the room, and then you lay down, and there is a light on, so you can like see around and everything. But other than that, that's it. It's pitch black. So once I got comfortable with everything, kind of started floating around. I didn't know if I would want to have the light on or off, because I was so, I mean, in retrospect, I wanted to light off just so I could get the full experience, but I kept the light on for like probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then I decided to turn it off, in which it did change a lot, because even with the light on, it's a very dim light. It's not too bright or anything, but even with the light on, it did change everything, because you could still see the light through your eyelids, so or like the shadow of the light and everything. So once I turned it off though, it was really crazy. I remember around like actually it's kind of hard to explain my experience. When I first got in there, I had to kind of manage my floating, because since you are seriously just, your body is just floating in this water, it's like you move around a little bit at first. You gotta kind of get used to that whole feeling of like, all right, so I'm moving this way now, and I'm moving this way now, and like it was weird, because when I turned off the light and I closed my eyes and everything, and I just got comfortable laying there, it felt like if I started moving like to the left, it felt like I was continuously moving to the left, and it felt like I was moving way faster than I actually was. So I kind of got lost within like the tank itself that I was in. Like I felt like I was like spinning around in circles a lot of the time, although I wasn't. I was just floating in the same exact place as I had started in. So that was kind of trippy. Like I felt like because it's like they tell you to put your feet pointing towards the door, and I felt like I was spinning. So then eventually I thought my body was the complete opposite way, so my feet were away from the door. But when I kind of like, it made me like have to sit up for a second and be like, all right, where like am I? I had to feel around at the walls and everything, and then I found out where the door was, and I hadn't moved at all. So it was kind of trippy in that sense. But other than that, it's kind of weird. It's like around like the 20-minute mark. I guess I really dug deep into like what I was feeling, and it was weird because it was like my mind kind of started playing tricks on me in a way. Like I started like getting kind of scared because I was in this room. It was pitch black and there was just no sound at all. So your mind kind of starts, at least for me, it was like playing little tricks on me. Like I kept feeling like some kind of horror movie shit was gonna happen, but I had to like kind of block that out and remind myself like, take advantage of being here right now because I mean, I've never been there before. It's kind of like an experience in itself, and you want to try to get everything you can from it. But so like I said, like I don't know if I said this yet, but I was planning on doing this for a while now, ever since I think when I first heard about the tanks themselves, I was on Joe Rogan's podcast like years ago, and I'd always been interested in it, and then some people, like a year or two ago, started talking about these again, and I was like reminded that they existed and that one was actually pretty local. So going into it, I kind of, in the back of my mind, I was like, all right, I probably won't get the full experience that I eventually want to get down the road sometime. But I was also kind of prepared in the sense that like back in like 2013, I started meditating, and I would do it every day for 20 minutes. I would do it every single day. And I learned from meditation that like, excuse me if you heard that burp, I learned from meditation that like you can really, like, when you're really focused and in like the moment, you can really get to a different sort of feel, a different place in your mind. It's crazy. It's really like the ultimate feeling of relaxation. And like when I was meditating, I don't really meditate like that anymore, like at all, really. I've been really slacking in that department. But when I was like getting really good at meditation, or not really good, but good enough to at least get some progress out of it, I'm telling you, like, you would get to like this such a weird feeling. It was almost out of body in a sense that like you were just like perfectly still in a way. I don't really know how to describe it. It was just like you definitely noticed a different feeling within yourself. So that's kind of what I wanted to experience within the tank. But in the back of my mind, I knew like, all right, this is my first time being in the tank itself and floating, so I'm not sure if I'm going to really get there. And I had this kind of self-doubt that I would ever get there, but it's weird because thinking back on that experience, I'll admit I wasn't fully present within the tank. Like I kind of caught myself thinking like a lot, and but I did have some moments of like kind of like a clarity or more of a present feeling, but not like fully though. It never fully came about to where I was like in it for at least like, I don't know, I would say I was in it for maybe a max of like 3 seconds. My whole hour in there, for probably 3 seconds, I was like fully feeling it. And at other times I was kind of just, I don't know, there was a lot of thinking going on. But what's weird is that afterwards, it didn't feel like an hour also, which kind of makes me believe like, oh, maybe I'm like being too harsh on myself. Like maybe I was actually more in it than I think I was. And when I say in it, I mean kind of like that meditative state, or that present state where you're kind of just not worried about anything. You're just like cool, very calm. And so when the hour was up, I was kind of surprised, but in the back of my mind, I was kind of like thinking about the time and like how much time had passed. which is like the worst thing you can do. But so when I opened the door and I went to take another shower to get all the gooey jelly water off me, then I started to notice how relaxed I felt and how focused I felt afterwards, which was really weird. I didn't expect that. I kind of expected to like go back to like my normal state in mind and just be like whatever and just get back on with my day. But I felt for the rest of the night, I felt super relaxed. I felt super good, and it was a really, really cool experience. But it's weird because looking back now, there were some parts of the float where I do like remember like certain feelings that I had within it, but for the most part I really don't like remember like anything that happened. It's so weird. It's so weird. I couldn't tell you like what kind of things I was going through in there besides like a few pinpointed moments, but other than that, like what I took away from this experience as a whole, as like my first time doing it, was more of the afterglow effect once I exited the tank, and even like the whole night, like I said, like I just felt like this better glow within me, and so that was really cool. But eventually where I want to be able to get with this is so much deeper than what I felt in that first experience. And I've heard people just go to like the deepest places of their mind, so I'm trying to get there, eventually. And I think all it takes is practice. I mean, practice with everything, though. I mean, it took me so long to get there, to get to even a step deeper into like the whole meditation thing. When I was doing it, it took so long to even get there, and it took a lot of reading about being present and meditation, and so it takes practice, like everything in this fucking life, man, takes practice. So yeah, I definitely recommend sensory deprivation to people who are looking for something deeper within themselves and looking to like relieve some sort of stress, or just be able to go away somewhere with their own thoughts and have no distractions, and just perfectly just think, or not think, but just rather just be with yourself and just have a place to go that you can just let go and not worry about anything for an hour or 2 hours. I can't even imagine 2 hours. Well, the thing is, when I was going through it, I was thinking like, damn, like an hour? Like in the middle, probably, I was like, alright, or like 20 to 30 minutes, I was like, wow, an hour long. And then I was starting to think like, wow, I can't even imagine 2 hours. But then when the hour was up, and now that I'm like here the next day, I'm like, oh, I could probably do 2 hours. But yeah, it's quite the experience. I don't know if I don't think I would recommend it to everyone though, because some people's train of thought is just too fast, and if it's interesting though that this is becoming such a big thing now, because you can really be taken to some crazy places. I mean, at least I have, like, and I even saw a glimpse of that with the whole horror movie kind of thoughts that were coming in. Like, I'm not saying like it was like some weird, scary thoughts, but it kind of was a little scary in a way. Like, I felt like being in like a pitch black room and like no sound and stuff, and it's like my mind just kind of started racing in the sense that like someone could just like open up the door or something and just be there. And, like, I just felt very vulnerable at times, but so it can take you to a weird place, and it's just your mind that's doing that. So it's like, for some people who aren't ready to really venture off into that place within themselves, I think it could be really overwhelming and intense. And I think it kind of got a little bit intense for me at some points as well, even though I wanted this to happen. But the thing is that I also want to embrace those intense moments, and I don't think everyone really does or wants to. So anyway, I mean, yeah, I really loved this experience. If anyone's interested in it, just do your research on it more. And I'm pretty sure they're making like a shit ton of these places now that you can go to. Just Google Century Deprivation or Float Tank Center or something along those lines. You'll find something if they have a place local to you. But other than that, just do your research on it before you really try it out, or think that you want to do it. It's a great way to just get away, like I said, get away from everything and get away from all the stress for just a brief moment in time. But yeah, so thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy it if you go through with it. Alright, bye.